Hello and welcome to all. An austere and venerable Shaolin monk who only lacks wings, a Kung Fu Wushu master with a destructive hand, or a training to freeze your blood in your veins. Here are the 10 most incredible sequences of Shaolin monks. Before becoming true Kung Fu masters with superhuman strength and resistance, Shaolin monks must, first of all, undergo an intense and almost relentless training. Within the monasteries and temples, young students are indeed pushed in more and more arduous exercises until they reach their own limits of endurance and strength. The intensive training sessions, which last almost all day, can take on the aspect of real torture sessions. One of the hardest training sessions is the famous hanging rune, which the young monk apprentices have to fill with water using a tiny metal cup. The exercise may seem simple enough, but you have to know that the young students are themselves suspended by their feet, which makes the task very difficult. But this is not the only ordeal that these young monks have to experience in their painful quest for learning. These young students must also submit to real tests of strength and endurance, which some could literally call inhuman. The apprentice monks have to compete with powerful buffaloes, take countless blows to the head and body, and balance on the sharp blade of a war spear. Finally, after this hard day of training, the young boys finally get some rest, but not completely. Because even when they sleep, they are required to adopt the most uncomfortable positions in order to get their bodies used to resilience and make them even tougher. It is therefore not uncommon to see these young future great Kung Fu masters snoozing with their heads down or hanging by their limbs from the ceiling, without this disturbing their deep sleep in the least. Every part of a Shaolin monk's body is so powerful that it becomes almost invulnerable. And for a great Kung Fu master, even a finger can be more deadly and dangerous than a magnum bullet fired at close range. If you find it hard to believe such a statement, we strongly invite you to watch this amazing sequence, which will inevitably change your opinion. The Shaolin monks that you see on these pictures are specialists of the ancestral technique of two fingers Zenith Kung Fu, and you will see that for them, the index fingers are not made only to show a direction. The young fighters have mastered this martial art to such an extent that they are able to balance themselves on their two fingers, thus making their whole body weight support only on their 4 phalanges. Do not try to reproduce this movement at home, because you will surely break your fingers. Because before being able to master this technique, these young people had to follow intense uninterrupted trainings. This is what makes their fingers real weapons of mass destruction, capable of piercing a beechwood board of several centimeters thick. You have certainly heard about the terrible training the young monk apprentices have to undergo in the Shaolin temples and monasteries in China. You must know, however, that each school of Kung Fu has its own training program, and some, as you will see, are much more difficult than others. On this sequence, you can indeed see the terrible exercise of flexibility and endurance that these young students of the Shaolin Temple of the Henan province have to undergo. Grimacing with pain, these young children have to stay rolled up on tree trunks without moving a hair, and this for hours and hours. Bare-chested in the middle of winter and when it has just snowed, these children indeed endure the torments of the wind and the continuous pain of their intensive training sessions. But in spite of the extreme hardness of their daily life, these children are very happy because they know that it is for the good cause and that one day will come where they will become in their own turn honorable Shaolin masters, feared and respected in the whole world. The fight in balance on wooden pillars remains without question one of the most emblematic training of Shaolin monks and by extension of all Kung Fu Wushu. This incredible practice comes from an ancestral knowledge transmitted from generation to generation by the greatest masters of Chinese martial arts. On this rare sequence, you will see monks of the Shaolin Temple performing this amazing exercise of balance and agility. Watch the grace and lightness of these young monks, as well as the prodigious finesse of their movements and their skillfully synchronized jumps. These seasoned fighters seem to be totally free of the earth's weightlessness, leaping from one pillar to another with the suppleness of a feline. Looking at them, one even has the impression that this exercise is rather easy, so much that they move with a disconcerting ease. But don't be mistaken, because it is only after several years of intensive training and deep meditation that these young Shaolin monks manage to achieve this feat. We would therefore advise you not to practice these movements at home, at the risk of ending up in the emergency room with a broken rib or shoulder. Breaking bricks or stones with nothing less than one's bare hand is a feat that all Shaolin monks master wonderfully. It is one of the activities that made their reputation throughout the world, and one of the first exercises they practice in their temple. On this totally amazing sequence, we are going to see an authentic Shaolin monk in full action. And let us tell you that his hands are real weapons of mass destruction, as you will be able to see on these images. Bricks, pebbles, soda cans, or even solid wood sticks, everything that passes between his powerful hands is turned into mush. The Shaolin master concentrates for a moment, the time to gather and channel his chi. Then, he strikes in a fraction of a second, like the lightning and ineluctable attack of a golden eagle. His right hand, more lethal and destructive than a war mace, falls like Mjolnir, Thor's fabulous enchanted hammer, and smashes everything to bits. With such a striking force, this brave monk could easily break down a wall if it were made of brick or stone. Qigong is one of the most enigmatic disciplines of Chinese martial arts, combining slow movements with breathing exercises and intense concentration. This 1,000-year-old art allows those who master it to accomplish true miracles, such as development of healing gifts, almost superhuman strength, and supernatural powers. In this clip, you will see one of the practitioners of this mystical technique and the incredible physical prowess he was able to develop thanks to it. The venerable Master Chen that you see on these images is one of the greatest Qigong practitioners in the world, and his feats will leave you breathless. Observe the lightness of his extraordinary character and his incredible agility worthy of a real leopard. Indeed, like this powerful feline, Master Chen manages to climb on a wall more than 5 meters high simply by taking a little momentum. The great master of Qigong is so flexible and agile that he can easily make dizzy jumps of several meters high, always falling on his 2 legs exactly like an alley cat. Shaolin monks are able to perform the most improbable physical feats with their bodies. The proof is in this incredible but true sequence. Indeed, the body of a great Kung Fu master is so strong that it becomes almost indestructible, and even a sharp blade can't hurt him when he is concentrated enough. On these unbelievable pictures, you can see the famous Shaolin monk Hu Cheng doing an unforgettable demonstration of the strength of his body with the help of an electric drill. But as you can see, this one is so tough that even the powerful percussion machine has no hold on it. Looking at him, it even seems that Hu Cheng is being tickled, while a drill intended to make holes in reinforced concrete is being attacked on his epidermis. The old Shaolin master is even going to push it further by putting the drill in on mode directly on his left temple. But his skull is even harder than diamond, and the powerful electric drill doesn't bother him more than a fly on his head. The powers of meditation and spiritual concentration are absolutely fascinating, and this is not only true for Shaolin monks. These young Tibetans, for example, are simple Buddhist monks who have never set foot in a Shaolin temple in their entire lives. However, you will see that they are able to make miracles simply by the force of mind and meditation. In this sequence, these young monks will cover themselves with wet sheets in order to prove that they are able to regulate their body temperature as they wish. Indeed, the young people are going to concentrate in order to emit a strong heat from their body, enough to make the wet sheets dry. And as you can see on these unpublished images, the water contained in these covers quickly evaporated under the caloric impulse of these Tibetan monks. This surprising thermal capacity is only the result of an intense and deep meditation. We continue with this rather electrifying sequence, and which is likely to put your curiosity under high tension. John Chang is a brave Indonesian from the island of Java, and although he looks nothing like a Shaolin monk, you will see that he has almost superhuman capabilities. Nicknamed Dynamo Jack, this nice character is indeed able to generate a real electric current, simply by concentrating on his chi. Thanks to this intense flow of natural energy which exists in all of us, John Chang is able to heal certain illnesses and physical traumas. By channeling his chi sufficiently, this Indonesian master is able to create more or less powerful electrical discharges with a simple gesture of his hands. His mastery of chi is so strong that he can literally set a piece of paper on fire simply by passing his hand over it. When he passes in dynamo mode, Chang's body is totally electrified, and we can even measure his amperage by using an electron ammeter. This surprising capacity of Chang was thus worth to him his nickname of Dynamo Jack, and it is necessary to realize that this nickname fits him like a glove. Thanks to his chi, the good man doesn't have to worry about electricity bills anymore, and his cell phone won't run out of charge. And as always, the best for the end. And this sequence which shows us that you should never challenge a great Shaolin master in a street fight, because you are sure to end up in the hospital or worse, in the morgue. The most powerful monks master so much qi that their kung fu becomes completely deadly, and they only have to touch you with their finger on one of your vital points, so that your heart or your liver doesn't explode inside your body. This old man, who doesn't look like much at first glance, is going to teach a good lesson to this gang of hooligans, who thought it was a good idea to defy him. Fortunately for them, the old master decided to be benevolent towards them, and thus took the opportunity to teach them a little trick or two. And that's it for today. What do you think of these 10 amazing sequences of Shaolin monks in action? Which one of them impressed you the most? Tell us in the comments, and if you like this video, don't forget to put a like and subscribe and activate the notifications. See you soon for new discoveries out of the ordinary.